Title: The Fate of the Brave. 1. The Walk into the Green Hell. It was a suffocating night in Vietnam. Lieutenant Jack Davis, leader of the special group, the Wolves, was about to lead his men on one of the most dangerous missions of their lives. The objective was clear: to cross miles of dense jungle and rescue American civilians and soldiers trapped in enemy territory. The jungle, with its overwhelming density, muffled sounds, but the silence was oppressive. Mark, a young soldier already marked by the war, approached Jack as they advanced. "Lieutenant, this feels like a straight path to hell. Do you think we'll get out alive?" Jack gave him a serious look. "No one gets left behind, Mark. This mission is ours, and we'll get through it together." The tension among the soldiers was palpable. Their heavy breathing and cautious steps echoed in the jungle. "Eyes open, ears alert. Silence here is our enemy," Mark whispered to Jack. The group knew they were venturing into unknown territory, where each step could be their last. 2. A surprise ambush. The silence was broken by a sudden explosion. Enemy fire rained down on the group, and everyone hit the ground in an instant. "Get down!" shouted Sergeant Jim, as everyone took cover among the trees and foliage. Warning shouts echoed while gunfire increased. The soldiers fought to maintain control and protect each other. Amid the clash, Jack moved strategically, directing each of his men. He saw one soldier injured and without hesitation crawled to help him, ignoring the risk. "No one gets left behind, remember?" Jack said, helping the soldier find cover. Bullets ricocheted around them, but the group managed to fend off the attack and kept moving forward. 3. Ghosts of the mind. As the night dragged on and they distanced themselves from the fight, Jack began to feel the weight of his decisions. He knew his leadership was being tested at every step. In a brief rest, he got lost in his thoughts, remembering the words of his father, also a war veteran. "A true leader feels the weight of each soldier. That's what makes him a good man." These memories haunted him but also strengthened him. He shared this memory with Mark, who listened closely and felt more motivated. The group resumed their march with more determination, led by Jack, who, despite his fears, was resilient and ready to face any challenge. 4. An unlikely alliance. Hours later, they came across a young, frightened and injured Vietnamese soldier, unarmed. Jack ordered the group to stop. "He's the enemy, Lieutenant. We can't trust him," Jim warned, suspicious. But Jack saw something in the young man's eyes. "Let's give him a chance," he said, offering the soldier some water. The young man, named Min, looked hesitant but accepted the water. In broken English, Min began to explain that he knew of a nearby base and could guide them along a safe path. Reluctantly, the group accepted Min's help, and the young Vietnamese started walking alongside them. Although wary, they began to realize the jungle could be less deadly with Min guiding them. 5. Conflicts and betrayals. Along the way, some soldiers began to question Min's presence. "How do we know he won't betray us? What if he leads us right into a trap?" Mark asked, visibly frustrated. Jack responded firmly, "Trust is all we have here. Either we stick together or we die." The dialogues among the soldiers grew tense. Jack could sense how conflicted his men were, torn between loyalty to their leader and fear of the enemy. Despite their concerns, Jack kept the group united, reminding them that the mission would only succeed if everyone moved forward together. 6. Facing the unknown. Some hours later, one of the soldiers was captured and taken to a village controlled by the Viet Cong. Jack and Min, side by side, devised a plan to rescue him. Min revealed secret paths among the trees and hills. As they approached the village, Min showed the way with precision. During the rescue, Jack and Min fought side by side against the enemy. When they returned to the group, the soldiers looked at Min with newfound respect, recognizing that he had been crucial in saving their comrade's life. For the first time, the group began to see Min as an ally, not merely a useful enemy. 7. The unexpected twist. After the rescue, the group uncovered devastating news. The mission was actually a trap, set by someone within the American Army itself. The orders about evacuating civilians had been fabricated, created by someone with dark intentions. Jack felt betrayed, and his men crumbled upon realizing they were being manipulated. Min, understanding their frustration, revealed that he knew more than he had shared. He disclosed secrets about a traitor among them that they never would have suspected. The revelation shocked the group, who began to question their trust in the authorities that had sent them. 8. The fight for survival. Without communication and surrounded, the group prepared for one last stand. They needed to fight not just to survive, but to prove that their unity and humanity were stronger than any betrayal. Jim, who had once distrusted Min, now held the young man's hand and thanked him for his help. While waiting for the battle to come, each soldier revealed something personal, talking about their families and dreams. The conversations were emotional, and the friendship among them grew stronger, binding them for what would be the fiercest fight of their lives. 9. The final sacrifice. Amid the intensity of the battle, Min made a decision. He would sacrifice himself to ensure the Americans' survival. He looked at Jack and said, with a firm voice, "Peace is a choice, not a war." With courage, Min faced the enemy attack and distracted the Viet Cong soldiers long enough for the Americans to escape. Min's words echoed in Jack's mind, who was moved by the young man's bravery. Min's sacrifice left a profound mark on each of the soldiers, who managed to fend off the attack and survive the final onslaught. 10. The surprising conclusion. Back in the United States, the group reunited to honor Min and reflect on their experience. That was when Jack discovered that Min had actually been an undercover agent for the Vietnamese government, a pacifist in disguise who longed to end the war and bring peace to his people. Min's sacrifice was proof of his true mission. The story ends with Jack, in a public speech, sharing Min's sacrifice and the lesson he taught them. In the midst of war, there are still those who fight for peace. His words are met with emotion, and the audience, like the group of soldiers, understands that the true battlefield is the human heart.